This is the camera Apple should have made. A camera that uses your smartphone as the brain. Something with a sensor 9 times bigger than your iPhone. Something interchangeable lens with a ton of lenses available. Something that can take advantage of computational photography. Instantly encrypts and secures your photos. Synchronizes them to the cloud instantaneously. Tags everything with GPS. Every benefit of smartphone photography with a real camera body, a real shutter button, and a real camera sensor. It's finally here. This is the Alice camera, and it's not perfect, but I am going to tell you about it because it might be right for you. It's definitely right for me for a lot of the things that I do, especially if you're a photographer who shoots events, things happening in real time, or your social media presence is important to you. Here's how it works. There's a little button on the side. You hold it and you turn it on. Then you launch the Alice app on your smartphone and connect to this through the Wi-Fi network that it hosts. It kind of acts like a Wi-Fi access point, just like your camera's app does. Once you get the Alice camera up and running, the smartphone becomes your camera screen. That brings a lot of benefits, right? Because your smartphone screen way bigger, way brighter than your regular camera screen. It's also detachable. If you were filming yourself from across the room, you could place your screen here and see what's happening. Now, you could run an app on just about any camera, except that this app works faster. It works more seamlessly. It's just less fuss. And of course, if you don't want to separately hold your phone, it slides right into the back there. They have 2 adjustable arms that hold your phone in. The bigger a phone is, the more tenuous it's going to be. I have the case off here. That definitely helps. Having the case on makes it a little too big for them to snap over perfectly. With the strap on the camera and it hanging around my neck, walking around for miles around New York City, I haven't had it fall off. To autofocus, you just half press the shutter and things come into focus pretty quickly. Right now, it's not the best at tracking moving subjects. It's not going to find the eyes of your subject, so it doesn't necessarily compete with your latest Sony camera in that one way. But it blows away all the cameras in many other ways. So let's get to that. The main benefit of using this is that it provides better image quality than your smartphone cameras possibly can because of the big sensor, because you can change the lenses, get any focal length you want. And it provides you instant access to your photos because when you take a photo, it is instantly sent over to your phone. If you're an Apple guy like me and you have iCloud, that means your photos will be synchronized to the cloud pretty much instantaneously, providing an instant backup, which means if you get robbed, if your camera and phone fly off a bridge, your photos are intact. That's so powerful for professional use. It's really embarrassing that nobody else has a proper synchronization system like that. Proper backups are a form of security. So is authentication authorization. With every other camera in the world, when you take a picture, anybody who steals your camera has instant access to those photos. And that means personal, private, or confidential information, like a boudoir shoot or a confidential unreleased product. Anybody who steals your camera has access to that, which means they could blackmail you or the company. That's really pretty dangerous. And I can't believe that's a risk that photographers take every day. But with this, all your smartphone security is intact. Everything is encrypted. Somebody would have to authenticate themselves to your phone before they could access those things. But the real benefit here is instant sharing. From taking a picture to sharing it on Instagram, it can happen in just a couple of seconds. So if you're somebody who's constantly updating your stories, providing real-time updates to something, that's much, much easier than either pulling a memory card out and attaching it to a computer or connecting via USB-C to your phone, or probably the worst case, trying to fire up your phone's app and transferring photos over individually. None of that. All of that time is saved. This camera does not have any sort of internal SD card. It just transfers stuff to your phone. Your phone is everything, which means everything is right there instantaneously. And how would that change your photography? How would that change you as a photographer if you could instantly share what you were doing? How much more engaged would your followers be in your day-to-day life if you could share real pictures taken with a real camera in real time? That's what Alice is. It's real. It is not the overprocessed smartphone photos. It is not the long delayed hassle of using a traditional camera. It is the best of both worlds. But it doesn't come without some drawbacks. Like first, it's a micro 4/3 mount, which they have an amazing lens selection, far bigger sensor than you would get with your smartphone. But at the same time, kind of a full frame snob. I would love a good full frame sensor, maybe on the next generation. Also, the hot shoe here isn't. It's a cold shoe. There's a place you could slide in a microphone or an accessory or something. I love using strobes and flashes, and I wish I could do that with my Alice camera. The design is effective. Like, it has a proper shutter button that's way better than the terrible thing built into my phone. It has a proper grip. I can put a strap on it. These are things my phone doesn't offer, at least by default. But it doesn't feel great in the hand. Like, it could use a little bit of a textured or rubberized grip. They kind of went for the Leica design of all hard edges, and that doesn't feel great in my hands, though your hands may vary. Some of us are using old school photography techniques in a modern world where we need to be constantly connected, where we need to share. We're trying to build a business, connect to customers and clients. And the way our traditional cameras work right now just isn't enough. The Alice camera steps up and offers a solution. It's not perfect, but I think this current version is right for a lot of people. Maybe it shouldn't be your only camera, but for me, it's definitely going to be one of my cameras. I love to walk around with it. I love getting better than normal results that I can share instantly without the hassle. Honestly, transferring photos with one of my camera apps just takes me out of the moment. And as a result, I just tend not to do it. And as a result, I don't share my pictures until often a couple of days later. But with the Alice, everything's on my phone. If you're interested, check it out here. I want to emphasize this is not sponsored. They briefed me on this, they loaned it to me, but I'm covering it because I do believe this is the future. I do believe this is the phone Apple should have made. Sony or somebody else should have made this. And I think the future for this is really, really bright. In the comments down below, let me know what you think. Do you want to be able to share things instantly? Do you want your photos to be encrypted and protected? Do you want GPS tagging in your photos? Are you frustrated that your cameras seem so primitive, even though they take such amazing pictures? And why can't we have the best of both worlds? Let me know. Bye.